Toons, I'm gonna be so real with you. The universe was doing everything in its power to try and stop today's stream. There was a thunderstorm last night outside the casino. Yes, I know, inside of a silver mine. You don't know how those lightning bolts like to ricochet down the stone cavern walls, alright? Anyway, and it blew the transformer, so the power went out. Power came back on at like 5 this morning. So I was kind of scrambling to finish the setup for today's stream. And... oh.
Since it's my work weekend.
Alright, thank you, Nix. Anyway, I'm just explaining why everything is late and stupid. So, got the power back on. Presentation is ready and good to go. For some reason, the internet is really fried. I'm very fortunate to even have a connection right now. But unfortunately, this is affecting my tracking software. I also suspect that I may have gotten another Microsoft update and not realized it because everything is out of whack. So, in light of this, I lost my ability to do facial tracking. So, what's a Sable to do, huh? What's a Sable to do? Well, I figured out an alternative solution in the last 10 minutes because I couldn't get my model to work. And so I took my gun and I shot myself. That's right, everybody. Today, I am a rat. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's mouse controlled instead of facial controlled. It is I, KATYA SABLE. An anniversary treat. Okay. So. Now,
Happy anniversary, boss.
Yeah. Happy anniversary. Yeah. So, let me just grab the slideshow. We've got a lot to go through today. I'm so for serious here. The whole plan was to use my doll today, like just for fun, but I can't get it to move! So instead of just like whipping it around wildly, I thought, well, shooting myself is always a good fun time.
Big cheese Sable.
Yeah, I'm the big cheese! I'm the biggest cheese this side of the wheel. They call me Swiss the way I got so many holes. Well, wait. I can workshop that. We can make that funny later. Did you see what I posted in the Discord? I have not, because I've barely got a computer right now. I'll be looking at the Discord later. Right now, we've got a world to review. Let me just move over here.
Get off the stage.
But
where's KATYA?
I'd like to think I'm a very handsome rat, thank you. Alright. KATYA Holes Sable. You know,
Hi, boss.
I'm not a fan of that name.
Did you see what I posted in the Discord?
Yeah. We will check the Discord later. I honestly, I can barely even open it. It keeps buffering. I worry. Alright. So. World. In. Review. Yeah. Look at that little thumbnail there. Very nice, very nice. I want to thank staff for helping me put this together. And look at the corner. We got some suspicious looking creatures there. You're going to be seeing a lot of those bozos today. So what is Favors? I hear you so often asking. What is Favors? Let me just make sure my audio balance is good and I'm not ear raping. Let me just turn this down and turn that up. Okay, this should be a bit more balanced. How does Favoriz taste? What can Favoriz do for you? Ask your doctor. Alright. Alright, are we back? Are we back? Do I get to be back? Oh! Yeah, no, I warned you. I warned you. I am in the shit right now. I'm so glad I set this up to be 2 hours and not 1 hour. Alright, what is Favoriz? Favoriz is another world, somewhere far across time and space, but we are concurrent. We are here at the same time. Yes, indeed. What does that mean, I hear you say? Is this like some sort of like weird Marvel multiverse thing? No, that's garbage. That's bullshit. Marvel is poorly written and badly realized, and this is nothing of the sort. I am disgusted you would ever even think of that. No. So, Favoriz is just somewhere across space. We have communication with you because of gate-based technology. It's not so simple to travel back and forth. The majority of our communications with your side through history have typically been scant. or like we have one-way trips. They kind of leave us stranded on your side. But with the revelation of new digital technology on both sides, you know, it has now become risk-free to communicate. And that's how we can talk with you guys. Yes. We can coordinate and even travel back and forth when we need to, though it is inconvenient and highly limited. This is why you may or may not see us at Hawkeye. So, ancient gate warp tech, placed by the gods before the Great Sky Wars. It's often used to travel the land. Those who control the gate have incredible control over a region's power. That's why it's such a big deal that I control the Dunari Sable Gate, by the way, and now have a second gate under my control. Like, damn, with only 3 working gates that we publicly know of in existence, I could theoretically be more powerful than any political pundit if I really wanted to, because I can restrict trade. Like, I'm kind... Man... Let me just play back speed. Where... Are we good? Where are we? We good? Everybody here? Are we all good? Okay. So, the gates were placed by the gods before the Great Sky Wars. They were used as fast transit methods until they were buried by the cataclysm, destruction, or even, in some cases, being sealed by the goddess Chiaya. There are only 3 pairs of gates that are currently functioning. The Dunari Sable Gate, discovered by the United Dunari Federation, and the House Sable of Chiron. Yes. The Gate of Promise, discovered by the Seraphine, which leads to Delafia. And now, currently, the 3rd gate that we publicly know about, the Cove, as I have so colloquially nicknamed it, because I get to nickname it because I discovered it, where one so attractive and suave, KATYA SABLE, during her birthday last year, discovered an undisclosed location somewhere far removed from polite society. To be fair, I'm not gonna be splitting hairs here. I'm not even sure where the gate, like, other side is. I just know it leads to a cave of wonderful wonders. So, now that we know what the gates are, kind of how they operate, what are the factions? Hi, Katya. Hi, Ken. What are the factions? It leads to Great Britain. No! Well, I mean, technically, we used one to warp to Birmingham last year, so you're not even wrong there. So what are factions? On Earth, all sorts of power structures take hold. One would argue that Amazon is as powerful as some governments, and some religious and social movements hold as much sway over the people. Here, in Faeruz, there are many such governments, social political movements, religions, and have you. Many kingdoms. Many things. It's a big old world. That said, there are 6 distinct enough to have their own category. Factions. Let me just say, like, the equivalent for Earth would be like the Amazon faction, the America faction, the European faction, the Abrahamic religious faction, so to speak. It's more about their cultural contribution as a unit than their classification as a country or a religion or a factory. Thought your brother was in charge of the family fortune and everything, so wouldn't you own the gates? Well, I'm glad you asked that, Raziel. We'll get to that later. If my internet survives. Because there's actually a very good reason as to why I own the gates. Anyway. Gan Eden. Often hear the quote, "Ignite the spark of rebellion." Rejecting the hollow neon glow of stasis, the rebels of Gan Eden fight tooth and nail to reclaim a future stolen by greed. Their mission is clear: to cleanse the Arc Blight's poison, stop Zaitan's blunder, and build an untamed garden where life can flourish. Zaitan is tech, numbers, and wealth, but Gan Eden has something stronger. Propaganda! Propaganda! No. The will to fight for a world worth living and propaganda! Their activities range from guerrilla sabotage against Zaitan's infrastructure to clandestine operations to aid the oppressed citizens of the Outer Rim. Propaganda. Primarily located on the Outer Rim, what began as outcasts of stasis, those who couldn't afford to keep up with Zaitan's costs of living were forced to live in the Outer Rim. The cold cruelty of Zaitan towards those in the Outer Rim inspired a movement of rebellion. Not just out of disdain for those who rejected them, but a desire to live a better life. Gan Eden formed kind of into a shadowy resistance movement that operates on the fringes of society. They've developed a robust underground network. They've utilizing stolen tech, their own innovations, all to strike at Zaitan while evading detection. Today, Gan Eden functions as a loose collective of autonomous cells, each with its own specialized skills and objectives. Their activities range from guerrilla sabotage against Zaitan's infrastructure to operations that aid the quote-unquote oppressed populations within Zaitan's reach. They've got a bit of moral ambiguity, but you know they're all working together to fight Zaitan. Now, what we're looking at here is the Arc Blight Containment Facility. Kind of like their big howdy-do. It's a toxic byproduct, Arc Blight is a toxic byproduct of Zaitan's Arcanite revolution. And we'll get into what Arcanite is later. But, consider this to be like Chernobyl, Elephant's Foot. This is the nuclear radiation. Kinda. Arc Blight seeps into the ground wherever energy extraction occurs, and it poisons the land around it. Around Stasis and the Outer Rim, it spreads like a slow, creeping death. leaves behind really cool-looking aesthetic glowing wastelands and crystal pools underground, but it's all very poisonous. They're living in Detroit. Aaron! Aaron, you can't say that even if it's true! The Gan-Edeners living in Detroit. Detroit's a state of mind. Anyway. So the Gan-Eden views Arcblight as like a curse, but also kind of like a challenge. While they're fighting to stop Zeiton, their own engineers and medics are studying the substance. Trying to find a way to neutralize it, I think. Anyway. There's a lot about Arcblight we're not entirely sure about, but if you keep your eyes and your ears peeled like grapes and apples, very soon you may be able to figure some things out. Oh. They got that Flint, Michigan water. No! So is Gan-Eden a place or a faction? It's a faction. It's a faction. It's split off from Zeiton. The Gan-Edeners are anti-Zeitons. There is no one way to be in Gan-Eden. Kind of like how there's no one way to be a corruptor. We'll go over that later. But again, factions are not countries. They are not any one thing. Like, we've got a religion here, we've got a racial identity here, we've got an empire, we've got a company, we've got Nakota. Anyway, the cult of La Seraphine. We be Sable to figure things out, Keck. Hello, boss. Hello, Vega. So, the cult of La Seraphine. Often quoted, "May the goddess bless you," by some of the most irritating people you've ever known. Bathed in the goddess's tears, the Seraphine follow her teachings faithfully, drawing power from their emotional tides, a testament to the divine dance of cosmic intention. Sounds like a load of hogwash, if you ask me. The tears of the goddess are known as astral droplets, and they're collected from the sacred basin hidden within the floating city of Delafia. Upon being placed within specialized artificia, the droplets' latent power can be drawn to aid the Seraphine cause. I know that you all just collectively shuddered looking at all those words, but trust me, you don't have to read all that. I'm just gonna explain what this is. But this is the High Priestess, leader of the Seraphine. She's the ruler and the voice of the goddess, guiding faith, law, society as one. Her authority comes back directly from her lineage from the prophet Sophia. First chosen of the chalice, and the title is passed from mother to daughter when age or divine signs show that it's time. So, to be the leader of the Seraphine is a hereditary thing. The High Priestesses do not govern alone. She is supported by her chosen coterie of 5 trusted advisors, as well as the Blades, Wardens, and the vast milice beneath them. Her throne in the floating capital of Delafia, she decides how Seraphine canon is interpreted. Her words carry the same weight as the goddess herself. At the present time, High Priestess Eleanor has ruled for almost a century. At 124 years old, her reign has been long and stable. Marked by expansion and tech growth, she now prepares to hand down her role to her youngest daughter, Candide. I'm gonna have to ask Leia why her boss's name is Candy, because that's a stripper name. Anyway, who at only 16 is set to become the youngest High Priestess since Sophia. You know, maybe I shouldn't have called it a stripper name. Though some doubt her readiness, the Seraphine believe if she is chosen, it must be the goddess's will. Oh, I've suddenly lost my slides. Found! found only within the lake beneath Delafia, as well as Delafia Enrins. This is astral droplets, known to increase the vitality of people who regularly bathe in it. Now, here it says vitality. That means all sorts of things. It means livelihood, health, strength, whatever. Though, let's be honest, the only time I've ever seen the word vitality ever effectively used in conversation is sex. So I'm going to make fun of Memoria later. Periodical consumption of astral droplets have no real effect, but too much consumption can result in arcana overload. And arcana overload means that you explode. Spontaneous combustion. So chat, drinking too much water will cause you to explode if it's the special goddess water. Recorded within the Seraphine Artificia, it is contained within the Seraphine Artificia and can record the memories of the wearer. So this is special memory juice, too. Vitality results in longer lifespans for the people of Seraphine, or those living around the Delafia Envrins. It doesn't improve their memories to accommodate for the increase of possible memories to record them. Now, the esteemed are respected figures within the Seraphine hierarchy, known for their devotion and great deeds that set them apart. So, my next slide has been deleted. Anyway, Memoria is one of these. This is basically Memoria. They work with the priestesses, with the blades, live in high society. People respect them. Think of these as like your fantasy high priests and clerics. Oh, actually, wait, it works. So we're just going to take a brief moment and we're going to hear some key lore from the Seraphine herself. For those who have already seen it, great. But I think we all need a refresher.
They say memories fade like ripples in water. But what if some are too precious to forget? Are the bad memories worth keeping? Do they hold any inherent value on their own? What if the memories are incomplete? What if they're not as one remembers them? Once we were a lost race, seeking salvation, making a pilgrimage through endless fields and mountains. At our breaking point, we were given providence by the goddess, who has bestowed us a prophet. That prophet told us of one destination which all the Seraphines must make a pilgrimage to. Delafia, paradise, our home. With the guidance of the goddess and the discovery of the astral droplets of Delafia, we are now blessed with long and healthy lives. The Artificia, a divine revelation, and yet another gift we receive from the goddess. We, once talentless in the field of Arcana, are now able to wield it with the graces of the goddess. But to always keep us humble and humane, the goddess has always ensured that her gifts and blessings are never complete. Our long and healthy lives often are plagued with loss of memories. The Artificia, tools that can enable Arcana usage, can also be quick to overwhelm and erupt in a firestorm of emotions. From these imperfections, the Memoria family has found their purpose: to restore lost memories of our people, to ensure that the goddess's gift becomes perfect. After countless generations of work and toil, hundreds or maybe thousands of methods have been tested and failed. At best, they have managed to restore most lost memories, but not all. While this may be enough for past generations, Leia Memoria is determined to change this fact, to achieve perfect memory restoration. From days to weeks, to months, years, and even decades, Leia toiled with numerous experiments and techniques, with unyielding conviction, and with the knowledge from past memorias. partially sacrificing even her own ability to remember and her own memories for just a sliver of progress, she surged forward. On one unremarkable day, she suffered from her first major burnout. Unsure of how to overcome this slump, she browsed through the records of the Memoria family. Why must this record be always placed so high? I really should organize this someday. And got that book. Oh no. Ow. Okay, that could have been bad. What a mess. Wait, was there ever a music player here? I do not remember this being part of the library. What's this? Writing? Memories are a gift, not because they may be precious or bad, but because they make us who we are. Whoa, the music shifted. How do I turn this off? Wait. What happened? Where am I? What is this place? Where did I get sent to? Hello? Is anybody here?
Frog.
Huh?
Frog.
A frog?
Frog!
What is it doing here? Wait, don't go!
Frog!
Wait, where are you going? They say memories are not because to countless because the work is who we are. What happened to me? Am I crying?
I'd cry too if I saw such a cool frog.
It's reacting.
Oh.
That's the song I've heard before. Music. So this is what it means. This is it. A breakthrough.
All right, so class, what have we learned just now? So, Leia Memoria, one of the priestesses of Delafia. Hold on, is my audio okay? Okay. One of the priestesses of Delafia is in charge of one of their divisions where they're trying to figure things out. So, to be able to wield Arcana, initially, the Seraphine were not Arcana wielders. They did not have the capacity for it. Kind of like me. I, KATYA SABLE, cannot wield Arcana. I do not have magic. And initially, the Seraphine weren't able to either. However, after contact with the goddess, they were given that ability, kind of like as a present. However, the trade-off is that with the ability to wield Arcana, with longer lifespans, basically their brains kind of erode and they lose their memories. So she's kind of like a little bit of a library scientist, and she's part of the division that's trying to, you know, if I really think about it, it's kind of blasphemous to circumvent the nerf that you're getting in exchange, but, you know, she's trying to up and up the health and wellness of her people by fixing that. Cool frog. Anyway, so this year, we spent time with Leia learning about and getting a glimpse of the inner workings of the cult of the Seraphine, daily life, and catching a first glimpse of the Dreamweaver. Now, she's really, really pretty. She's really pretty. Look at her. You can only see like a little bit, but look at her from behind. I know even from behind, she's a solid dime. So the Dreamweaver is one of the 22 members of the Blades, kind of like their order of the Phoenix or whatever, you know, the Blades, you know, their hierarchy, their church hierarchy, their cardinals, so to speak. A group of 22 heavenly officials form the elite of the Millis. They're seen as the goddess's chosen few. Part of their qualifications is that they've got a superior affinity to astral droplets that allows extensive use without short-term downsides. Basically, they can drink the water and not explode. Anyone can challenge a blade to a duel for their title. So, basically, it's like if you went to the Vatican on Earth. You went to a cardinal, and you whipped out your Pokeball, and you started a Pokemon battle with the cardinal. And if you won, you got to become the cardinal, and he took your spot as the pizza delivery boy. That's kind of how the system works here, but with life on the line. Do you become a religious figurehead with your life on the line? Yes. Anyway, these duels must be approved, though, by the coterie or the high priestess herself, and they are deeply ceremonial affairs. Each of them have a special role in Seraphine society. The Dreamweaver handles the dreams of the people. Her job is to create sweet dreams for the people to experience. But rumors say she's very eccentric, and sometimes comes up with bizarre ideas. So you know those really weird, invasive thoughts and dreams that you have? It's this bitch's fault. It's this bitch's fault. You can't stop thinking about that one freakish coworker that may or may not be like a cousin. Not only is it the influence of the bad anime you're watching, she probably put that thought in your head. I've always wanted to whip out my Pokeballs at the Pope. Takes pill. Molio, don't you dare! We're not taking pills today. Speaking of pills, the United Clans of Nakota, often quoted with "in unison with the spirits." In spiritual harmony with the wilderness, the clans of Nakota intertwine their destinies with the rhythms of the earth, their shared essences echoing the song of unity. So basically, they're fucking hippies! Long ago, the clans of the Great Forest put aside their rivalries and vowed to face any outside threats as a unified people, no longer divided by individual interests. The Nakota chose to be defined by shared beliefs, a common history, and their desire to protect their home. See, the United Clans of Nakota, it's kind of like how there's 51 states in the United States, where each state could be like its own country, but instead they're all just part of one country. But the United Clans of Nakota are kind of like that. They all got like distinct, places and geographies. It's a very large place, but they've all united under one cultural banner. Now, whether or not that's a good thing, who's to say? All I know is that I love those sweet resources that I like to take from them. 51? Well, I'm sorry, Canada isn't part of the US yet, is it? Alright. Flux storms! Otherwise known as impenetrable interoceanic barriers. Created from the blood of the old gods seeping into the waters. They last forever, provided they're far from land, and begin a certain distance from the land, around 300 kilometers. Sometimes some storm incursions may occur, making the storm approach near the coastline. Oh, everything froze for a second. It is composed of two layers, the main storm clouds and the flux barrier. The storm layer can be traversed, albeit it's still a storm, but the flux barrier cannot be traversed. So, invisible wall in a video game. You smack into it. You can't go past it. You can go past the smoke layer that's rendered in front of it, but you can't get past the invisible wall barrier. And this is because there's blood of the old gods in the water. Anything that attempts this, whether it being animals, humans, or objects, is disintegrated. So if you hit the video game wall, you actually get, Thanos. This results in an indirect barrier which isolates continents. This is how we lost a whole continent. This is why it is such a big deal. Any Yilves are in, Chiron, or on this continent at all, because, My lineage is directly from a continent that's been cut off by a flux storm for the past, like, 100 years or so. Maybe more. Do those storms fuck with Wi-Fi? Oh, boy, howdy! The Chiron Empire. Power reigns absolute. The Chiron Empire is a nation most regal in name, and its people are most opulent in nature. Within the empire, corrupt nobles dance upon a stage of treachery, while wars echo the symphony of shattered souls. The empire stands unchallenged within its borders, led by the imperial family, which holds the authority of the Valorbane, legendary sentient sword. So long as the sword is a wielder, the Chiron Empire thrives.
Coolest symbol by
The
far.
great Chiron Empire. And House Sable. Where the strong lead and the weak follow. Few noble families embrace this more than my own. House Sable. My father, the great Viscount. My dear brother Dominic. My mother, the mistress, who gave birth to me. Katya.
One other drink. My name is...
Enough! I've earned a break.
And with your father's untimely passing, you will become the next head of the My lord, did the door just move?
What is it? I'm busy.
There's no time! Dominic's plotting your assassination!
Nonsense.
I'm serious! A strange man was talking.
Enough! It's time you grow up, Katya.
I tried so much to warn him. Again and again. I thought him truly foolish. You're wide open.
Just like father's back.
Please, stop this.
Then make me. Ha! 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 And you call yourself a Sable? Such a disappointment.
I tried to find him. I tried to save him. But... I was too late.
No frog, 0 out of 10!
Father!
Today's headline, Dominic Sable, avenger of his family during a night of horror. Only survivor of the break-in, now set to break out on a huge business venture.
Keep up the good work, brother. Gathering all the cards. Father would be proud. But only I can stack the deck. Take the house. Flaunt the Sable name. Enjoy it while it lasts. Now, it's my turn to play.
So Dominic's a little bitch. So, this calendar year saw the rise in new enterprise, spearheaded by one such casino owner, KATYA SABLE. Albeit only in hushed rumors, a new pleasure-seeking drug derived from what is colloquially
Poor Gotcha.
known.
She has been through so much.
Oh.
Definitely my favorite Variance project member. Applause.
Barry Ants. That's my goat, Dominic.
The backstory to a really toxic
I'm
and
gonna
hot
fucking
ship.
turn you
Heart
into a
emoji,
kebab. I'm
dumb
gonna make
cat.
you into a Turkish kebab. Isn't that what they make birria out of? Goats? I'm gonna turn you into a Turkish kebab. And then I'm gonna feed you to the fishes. Anyway, a new pleasure-seeking drug derived from what is colloquially known as the flower, originating somewhere not native to the empire. Its chemical distillation and export as a powder to be either breathed in, ingested, or smoked has caused civil unrest in the neighboring land of Dakota as a sharp rise in drug-related crime and death has spiked immediately. Ah, man, remember that, guys? Remember when we created Nakadite? Well, we didn't create it, we kind of semi-discovered it. Man, those Nakodans are making me so much money. Man! The former acting ruler, Emperor Alexandros, while still alive, is out of the public eye. Katya's benefactor and patron. So, after the house burnt down, I really had nowhere to go, and I was assumed dead. So I kind of, when I escaped with my father's gun, Pennyworth. I wish I hadn't, that guy's a little bitch. And a lot of documentation. And so I went to the Emperor at the time. I requested an audience, and in exchange for my safety, I gave him a bunch of information and some titles and deeds to some Sable land. the Emperor, in return, you know, he was a very good friend of my father. He pulled some strings to give me the silver mine and the current building SABLETONS project my father was working on. So the reason the casino's named SABLETONS isn't because I named it that. It's after my father, because it was his project. So I'm kind of like hiding in plain sight. Dominic, for a while, didn't even know I was alive. He just assumed that, you know, it kind of got passed on to someone else. As for the Denari Sable Gate, after it was discovered that I was alive, he didn't really understand the gravity and the importance of the gates. He's more of like a princess that likes to play politics and likes to dance around, be the most important person in the room. So it took very little convincing from the Emperor to sign over the rights to him. And I managed to wrangle those gates. So the gates belong to me. Far more power than he is, you know, capable of handling. I'm sure that now that he understands how valuable it is, he's frothing at the mouth, but at the time he didn't give a shit, right? So I've got the gates. He's got the land titles and rights and a lot of businesses. He owns like half the empire. However, that's entirely because of the investors from other smaller, minor political factions inside of Chiron that would seek to try and usurp the Emperor or the Empress Regent at this point. Now, the Emperor is actually out of commission. So, my leash, I went from being the Emperor's dog, an informant, to being passed on to the new Empress Regent, Agalia. Here you can see her portrait. The new Empress Regent. The Valorbane picked her. So we're just being chillin'. I do her dirty work. If you polish him enough, does he become Nicholsworth? Ah, man. Cute little knife uses his daddy's girl. I ain't a daddy's anything. He is my human blood. My father was full human, and he is the best of the best. He taught me what it means to survive in high society. Ah, yes, fantasy black tar heroine. Yes, bad juju. Now, Chiron's imperial expansion via military might and deception has caused conflict amongst neighboring the neighboring confederation of kingdoms. It's quite something. Anyway, I would like to show you, you know, we've had some expansion in the last year in the casino. Here we've got some of my enforcers, Beavis and Pygmy. Yes, they're very loyal. We've got Pontilius, one of the newest additions to the casino. He is my seafaring pirate who is suspiciously fruity, I fear. But you know what? You kind of have to be a pirate these days. We've got our cabal of Pipsqueak, Mambo, and Ricardo over here. Some of my top boys. Yes. Alright. The Races of Faerez! You asked for it, you get it! You want to know the racial makeup? You want to know the majority and the minorities of this world? I've got you covered. I am an expert. So. Oh. Starting here. Humans. Average lifespan of 70 to 150 years. Depending on what continent they're from, it dictates their ability to wield and possess arcana. Nasty Yilvish beasts. The average lifespan is 300 years if they're pureblood, and it cuts in half to 150 if they're mixed race. You know, I don't even want to think about these guys, but they don't originate from Daenerys. They come from the Lost Continent. So there's not a lot of these guys. They are quite the minority. I'd say that There are more than like 1 or 2 Yilves. There are quite a few, really, but they are a significant minority, so to speak. I'd say that they are aside from maybe the Dragonoids, I'd say Yilves and Dragonoids are like the absolute minority here in Faerûs. Kate Sith. Kate Sith, average lifespan between 60 to 80 years. They are very feline in nature, with feline tendencies. Often found in Nakota, but are found everywhere, generally. They're not exclusive. Dussath, average lifespan 45 to 60 years. They're dogs. What can I say? Real hounds. Advanced smell. Dragonoids. 150 years. Avali. Average lifespan of around 50 years. These are bird people. They've got limited flight capability, so they can fly for an extended period of time, but, like, they can't do, like, a 20-hour airplane flight, right? Like, they're going place to place. They get tired. It's like when you go running, right? They can sprint, but not for a huge spurt. Same with flying. They can fly intensely for a little bit, but then they get tired, you know? They've got very frail bones, you know, very hollow to accommodate to fly. Very big wings. And, yeah. I actually am friends with quite a few Avali. They make very good clients. The Veloxin. Average lifespan, 120 years. Very fox-like by nature, with multiple tails. They've got a supernatural arcana manifestation, almost. Very spiritual disposition. Often, they can be found being kind of schizophrenic about ghosts and spirits and stuff. I don't believe in any of that nonsense, but I should be culturally sensitive. So, this little guy, this is a Feykin. Average lifespan of 125 years. They can be anything between tiny to human-sized. Their whole shtick is communicating with nature. They can speak with animals telepathetically. They're natural environmentalists. They care too much about trees and stuff. Speaking of trees, Florin. They are plant-based humanoid creatures. I will not claim to know much about them, but I know Nakota is full of these nasty bitches. They've got bad attitudes, and they never pay at the casino. They never pay up. But I can't even, like, shoot them because they always slither away. Like, I actually have a hard ban on Florins in the casino. If you see a nasty Florin in the casino, it's shoot on sight. Fucking Florins, man. Fucking Nakotans, man. Ugh! But yeah, speedrun. We've got the humans, the Yilves, the Katesith, the Dussath, the Dragonoid, the Avali, the Veloxin, the Feykin,
Unironically,
and
thank
the
you,
Florin.
boss. This is really fun to learn about.
Yeah, nah, man. But typically, like the Katesith and the Dussath and the you see quite a few of them come in as immigrants, even. Not typically native to Chiron, but with Chiron expanding, I guess the definition of what is native to the land changes, you know? What was that? Anyway, so as I was saying, Zeiton Corporation. Order is the right answer. Stasis, capital of the United Dunari Federation, is a high-tech utopia built through the exploitation of Arcana stones. Within Stasis, Zeiton Corporation holds a monopoly over these stones and uses their abundant energy to have busted internet. Hold the line. abundant energy to develop groundbreaking arcana tech, establishing itself as leading tech enterprise in the region. Yet, between the city center and the outer rim lies a darker side, a society where rich get richer and the poor are left behind. Known fully as the Zeiton Corporation, it's an oligarchy led by the CEO and the board of directors, currently ruled by the passive-aggressive Dr. Zeiton. Currently in conflict with Gan Eden, but otherwise no faction really outright. We have a bit of a give and take with them in Chiron. They seem to think that they'll be able to outdo us one day with their tech, but we kind of have military prowess, so it's kind of like a Mexican standoff. We're both pointing guns at each other, but at the same time we're shaking. We've got a gun in one hand and a hand in another hand. So we're like shaking hands while pointing guns at each other's in the face, you know? Just, you know, it's chill like that, you know? Currently in conflict with their parent nation, the United Junari Federation. So, Zeiton's the company. The actual nation that the company sits on is the UDF. So Stasis is the economic capital of the UDF and the heart of Zeiton Corp. So the city is characterized by concentric walls protecting Zeiton's central HQ, and there's like a vault underneath. As the city and Zeiton's power continue to grow, new walls are constructed. On average, a new wall is completed every 20 years, symbolizing the progress made over the last 2 decades. The construction on the defensive rings never ends, so the city gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's Stasis. Outer Rim. It's not just a place. It's an identity. Comprised by the rural areas surrounding all the UDF urban centers. The Outer Rim is home to the forgotten and the disenfranchised. Citizens of the Outer Rim are valued as a labor force for the Zeiton Corp's.
Do they have robot girls?
They do have robot girls. Yes, they do have robot girls. This is the tech capital of all of Feyres. Come on now. They got everything. I only care about the weapons, personally. They're home to a labor force for Zeiton Corp's extractivist projects. Mostly mining, but also the growing luxury commodities that can't be grown in hydroponic facilities. Anyway.
Greater than city called Stasis, greater than explicitly not in Stasis.
Lamau. Alright. Okay, gonna give me a second. I see the internet buffering again. Alright. I think we're good. So, Inathera and Daenerys. These are the 2 continents that we can travel back and forth through easily here on Feyres. These are ones that are not currently in trouble via flux storms. So these are native lands of humans, Dusaith, Katsith, Avali, Veloxin, and Fakin. Inathera specifically. Here. It's a rich presence of Arcana users and people that can naturally be born to use Arcana. A lot of Arcanite. It's a northeastern continent. Its climate ranges, you know, the climate range varies, but it's mostly above the equator. Not necessarily polar, but more temperate. So, on Inathera, this is where you would find Chiron, Nakota, the Seraphine, and Corruptors, specifically. While Corruptors is more of like a racial identity than anything, even though it wasn't included in the races, I'll explain why in a bit. They're mostly localized currently here because of the wound. The wound is from where Corruptors mostly stem from. Now, the southwestern continent of Daenerys is also a native land of humans Dusath and Ketsith. Now, Daenerys is interesting because it is totally drained of all arcana. There's no arcana wielders here, and no natural arcanite resources. So to compensate, they are very high technology. So this is where Zeitencorp and Gan Eden are localized. And they've got a very, very hot, wet climate, very equatorial. I hate going here. I hate going there for business. It's hot and sweaty and gross, but, you know, hot tech capital, basically. So what is Arcanite? I've mentioned that a few times, so I'm guessing everybody's kind of wondering, and why is the chat broken? Hold on. Okay, no, chat's not broken. We're good. Okay, so Arcanite is, think of it as like a magical battery energy source oils. It's oil, but in rock form. It's formed as a byproduct of deceased spellcasters. So basically, instead of like the dinosaurs on Earth being crushed over time to become oil, carbon turned to oil, whatnot, people that are born naturally as Arcana users, when they die and they kind of dissolve and turn into dust and they're buried in the ground, they kind of, you know, compress, and over time they become these Arcanites. It's a delicate crystal, but it's used as a medium for casting Arcana due to its ability to amplify Arcana usage. So you can use it as a battery, you can use it as, you know, something to increase power. It's got very high value in Denari because of the rare medicinal and magical properties. Now, sentient weapons, like Pennyworth here, actually have an Arcanite energy source, but they're also interesting because they're a little bit different. They are fully sentient creatures, whereas Arcanite itself isn't typically sentient. So we're still not sure what a sentient weapon really is, and they refuse to tell us any details themselves. I think they're just being dicks about it. Pennyworth probably knows more, but he is obstinate. But sentient weapons are rare, and they've been exclusively found in Weaponfall. Now, Weaponfall is that little blue blob down there in the corner, and that's a place here in Faerus where we keep finding interesting things. Lots of Arcanite, and where the Valorbane was actually discovered. Weaponfall, because the weapons just poofed there one day. So there are theorized to be way more of these weapons out there, but at this point in time, there's only two known to exist. Pennyworth and the Valorbane. Now, initially, publicly, people only really knew about the Valorbane, so they thought, wow, there's this one sentient weapon, that's so cool. I'll have you know that, you know, Pennyworth is a fascinating individual. I stole him from my father's study on my way out, and while, you know, he's got value, sometimes I wish I let him burn in the fire. The sentient weapons choose their owners, so to speak, but it's also, like, value-based. And they're very temperamental. I kind of coerced Pennyworth to work with me, but the Valorbane is kind of very do or die. It chooses its wielder. The chosen wielder is considered the next true leader of the Chiron Empire. Not Pennyworth, the Valorbane. Pennyworth just chooses to be a dick. It's a very powerful sword. The application of the wielder's strength and arcana abilities are off the charts. You wield it, basically, you could, like, cut a whole mountain in half type shit. But wielding it does test mental and physical fortitude. And if you're trying to use it and you haven't been chosen, you will be left disabled. Now, corruption of Arcanite. Arcanite can be corrupted in 2 methods. Introduction of corrupted arcana into an arcanite crystal, so like a corruptor using a regular arcanite crystal as like a conduit or to make their power stronger. Or the formation of corrupted arcanite within the body of a compatible host. So if you can cast arcana, you are capable of forming arcana crystals inside of you if you corrupt. Because, like, again, arcana users, when they die, they dissolve, they can become arcanite. Yes? So, makes sense that when you corrupt, it can form. Speaking of corrupt, the corruptors! Equilibrium shall be reached, often heard said. The corruptors are beings tempted by the whispers of Izun, the god of corruption. Often, corruptors are driven by insatiable hunger for arcana and will ravage through realms, casting shadows of chaos and despair. Izun, once the god of balance, wished to create equilibrium between the gods and their creations. Yet, betrayed and imprisoned, he awaits his chance to end it all in the name of true balance. So, corruptors are less of like a religion or an identity or that, and they're more like a race that's thrust upon you. It's like if I woke up one day and my ears had been snipped off forcibly and that turned me into a full human. Right? Even if I was born something else. So any kind of sentient creature can corrupt. Doesn't matter their race. They become a corrupted variant of that race, so they join the race of corruptors. There are states of corruption and classes to it, and it stems from Izun. Just like Ganeden, there's no one way to be a corruptor. They're often more...
Corruptor? But do you know her?
Corruptor? I don't even know her. Well, I unfortunately do know her. She won't leave my fucking casino. Anyway, they're often more individualistic in their goals, and they're less likely to organize around other corruptors. They typically just try to organize for their own personal goals. Kind of like how Ava has the Evolution. She's not gathering corruptors. She's more trying to rally people to her personal cause. But yes, corrupt doesn't equal corruptor. You see, to be corrupt and to be corruptor is 2 very different things. I am not one of those violet freaks. I'm just very good at business. As you can see, those who corrupt form physical manifestations of arcana corruption. Here, when Hawthorne corrupted, you can see all throughout her body...
Question. Does corruption affect the, chest?
What do you think, bozo? What am I looking at right now? Anyway, so... corruption manifests from its core values of revenge, rebellion, anti-whatever, hierarchy. Since every corruptor is different because their original factions and cultures, it varies, and it also affects how their crystals manifest. So when somebody becomes corrupted, it's due to someone succumbing to corruption within Izun's call, which is whisperings from that Izun guy. Depending on the strength and the will of the person, it'll vary the level of corruption. The Arcanite can be corrupted in 2 ways. So, one is corrupted arcana, and, you know, the other is just crystals, yes. And the second way is when it forms inside the host of the body, which can be fatal. The reason why Arcanite forming within the body is dangerous is due to its crystallization and how it ruins the body. So, to maintain your corruptor crystal, you need to constantly imbue it with arcana. So really, if you cannot personally generate arcana yourself, eventually you will die. It's kind of like a zombie-like state almost, but not really. Semi-zombie-like. So if you corrupt and then you never pump yourself full of arcana again, you die. So really, really, really strong arcana users, if they corrupt, sometimes they can just survive on their own merit, but typically not. Speaking of corrupted...
Pharaoh's is a world teetering on the edge of collapse. Not with a scream, but with a slow, unraveling breath. unknown forces have begun to move. Quiet, insidious even, pulling the world towards chaos. And in this descent, the old stories of good and evil no longer hold. Heroes may be the architects of ruin. Villains may be the ones holding the line. And in between, well, there are those who are simply just trying to survive. Long ago, before the cataclysm tore the land apart, a bridge, a gate, connected the Dragonoid homeland to the mainland. Back then, migration was natural. A quiet search for warmth, for safety, and for a time, they found it. It was a hidden village, tucked away from the rest of Feyraz. It was built by those who wished only to live in peace. It was safe, quiet, forgotten by the world. But that was when the fire came. And our protagonist was young when it burned. She was just old enough to recognize the sound of something precious breaking. Her little sister clung to her as the sky split open like a wounded god and the trees turned to screaming embers. They didn't run because they were brave. They ran because there was nothing else left. Through smoke and flame, they escaped. And their parents vanished into the chaos, into the collapsing wood and firelight. Whether they died in the blaze or vanished to save them, our protagonist never found out. The question never really appeared to her again until much later. The silence that followed the screams took much too long. By that time, the fire had gone cold. From that moment on, she never stopped moving. She knew that the world no longer saw Dragonoids as their fellows, as their peer. They were seen as myths, trophies.
Just realized how fat her tail was in life.
By revealing herself to the world, she risked endangering her place in it. This Dragonoid lived with her sister. They were nomadic to hide, and she did what she could to protect it. She swore to herself to always keep her safe. But this could only go on for so long. It began with a song. The irony of a song so sweet. We were safe as long as we were together.
Let me go!
And that's the story of how I got here. My sister and I are safe. Well, she is safe. And I'm here to make sure that it stays that way. Some can call me corrupted or evil, but we've seen what lurks in the hearts of the pure. No longer will we run. No longer are we weak. We are finally alive. She is alive, and anyone standing in our way will regret it.
Not much is known of the Hawthorne sisters, especially the younger one. But this is by design of her fiercely protective older sister. Currently, the two of them reside in my casino while planning their next move. The younger sister can often be seen relaxing upstairs or being led into mischief by casino employees. During the palace purge recently, though, she was spirited away by the cult of the Seraphine, and a rescue mission was devised by her older sister. Hawthorne owes me big for that one. Like, look at that. The Evolution did a number on Palace. What? It was a beautiful piece of Chironite property. Like, look at that. It was gorgeous. Look at this statement piece of imperial authority. She owes me big time. Does she know how much I invested personally into this bullshit? Ugh! Oh, whatever. It is what it is. She's a valuable enough, wage slave that it balances out. Hello, boss. Sorry I'm late and I hope they're paying rent. Yeah, alright. That open air vibe. Oh, yes, it's quite something. So, think of the insurance payout. Well, no. Now you can charge. Well, okay, I don't own the place. I just had some investment in it. Yeah. We've had quite the journey here today. Any questions? You can buy it cheap now. Oh, true. Buy the dip. Buy the dip! Buy the dip! Gotta go back to work, boss. See you later. Oh, don't leave, Grim! Or at the least Vibe. Because we're gonna be chilling for the last 10-15 minutes. And then we're gonna raid into the big outfit debuts! If this was a pre-show after all. Can we look at the frog again? Yeah, sure. There we go. Can you go over all that again? I wasn't listening. How are your fencing skills? I would say that I've got some pretty solid fencing skills. I haven't had much time to practice these days, but I used to, you know, take lessons with Dominic. Are there any minor nations on the fringes? Small nations or such? Yes, actually. Hold on, let me pull open the map. You see, if you go to the Variance Project main website, there's an interactive world map that you can actually go to. Hold on. Can I move this here? There we go. So let me take you around Faerez real quick. We zoom out. We get overviews of Seraphine here. And if we actually zoom in all the way, we can see specific locations. Now, this map is ever expanding. But we've got the heart of Chiron. And this is where the main Imperial city is. The Sable Silver Mines tucked nicely and neatly just outside of the main city. It does take a little bit to actually get to the capital from the Sable Silver Mines, but not too bad. Port Perennia. This is where we had our adventure. Where we discovered the gate. And started my new enterprise. Here is the Great Wound, the source of corruption. I don't know much about Benyaku Delta, honestly. I think you actually have to ask Hawthorne about that. Do you have any fox girls employed? Not personally. The Kingdom of Ragnvald. That's a neighboring kingdom that Chiron is constantly having bitch fights with. They will be absorbed eventually. They will join our great empire, but currently they stand alone, and, you know, we've got a bit of a tit for tat. We're gonna see more stories of you and your chapter meets Faerez like on your birthday. We'll need any new characters. Yes, actually. Well, like, they're not characters. They're people that I know in reality, honestly. But, of course. Of course. Actually, keep your eyes peeled for October. Because October is going to be a very interesting, huge month. Remember last year how we had the big October for me? Remember how big last year was? It's gonna be 4 times as big. It's gonna be insane. You aren't even ready for the amount of story, the amount of spectacle. It's gonna be great. Oh yeah, we've got the Kingdom of Vespatia. Now, Ragnvald and Vespatia are also at odds with each other, but right now we are in an alliance with Vespatia. So we're kind of like closing in on Ragnvald at the moment. Are the best diggers in the world, namely, where are the dwarves? Look, it's not nice to call midgets names. Here's Weaponfall, and here you can see that corruption is actually starting to seep into the edges of Weaponfall. I don't know how corruption is spread here, because, you know, it's all localized within the Great Wound and expanding around the Great Wound, so we don't know how it got ported over here. But we're still constantly hunting to see if we'll find any more sentient weapons, or at the very least, more Arcanite. What has Quintilius been doing all this time since you've employed him? Oh, he's been helping me with a lot of seafaring. So he helps me with transporting Nakadite all the way around. So through the typically we take the Nakadite from the islands here, and after some travel, sail to the tip of the Great Wound, entering the Lignarian frontier. And from there, that is where trade happens. Kingdom of Lumidia also, since you were asking about fringe nations. Currently, we're not in a huge back and forth with them, but they're very Mediterranean, I would say. Like Greece. But not. I have no idea how I would explain it other than that. You just have to go there yourself one of these days. Can we isekai Rias into Feyres? I want to see you bully him more. I wish. The closest we're ever gonna get is me bullying Dominic, who sounds very suspiciously familiar. But no, Rias is not joining Variance. I knew a guy that got Lumidia. Here is Stasis, the ever-growing city with the cement walls that just get bigger and bigger. The technology capital. So this is actually where I had a lot of my schooling before, you know, I lost, you know, before I lost my privileges. I'm no longer, I'm technically disgraced, I suppose? Is that the scientific term? I'm disgraced from the nobility, but back when I was still actively participating in Chironite nobility and high society, I got a lot of my elementary and high school education in Stasis.
Undiscovered continent, I see the 51st state.
That's some crazy. Here, Ganeden, just, you know, on the border. But yeah, very, very warm, muggy, and horrible environment. Horrible environment. Way too warm, way too moist. Delafia busy being a floater. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good name for it. Delafia is the city of floaters. This is the floater city, everybody. Now, I didn't talk about it here, but this is actually the highest point in Feyres. Over the clouds, top of the mountains. It's a very pretty place. Oh, all that talking. I'm just gonna take a sip of my water real quick. Yeah. There used to be a lot more gates in Feyres. They used to be like a huge source of main travel, but now they're very, very tightly controlled. By me! Well, okay, not the Delafia gate. But the Dunari Sable gate. Let me just turn the output down. There we go. Does that ringed planet have any name or significance? Not that I know of. You see, I'm not an astrologer. So the thing is currently, even though we've got communications with you here, like, from Feyres to Earth, we aren't very into spacefaring at the moment. That's not a priority right now. We're still very much so trying to break through.
Thank you for actually hydrating, boss.
Yeah, well, thank you, Red Hair Across. We're still trying to break through Nope, stop that. Through flux storms. Once we manage to figure out how to break through flux storms and reconnect the continents and, you know, explore more of the oceans, then we can go back to reprioritizing space travel and space care. But the majority, you know, of us on Anathera, at least, we're not very interested in the stars beyond what they can do for us. Is it up for conquest, I suppose? Spacefarer? I don't even know her.
Spacefarer? I don't even know her.
But yes, you're going to be seeing a lot happening during this anniversary season. Today's just the beginning. The other two, they've got some new outfits. They've got some new stories to tell. If you want more storytelling, there's more on the line. And what's the dragon population of your world? Well, there's no dragons, but there's dragonoids. And the dragonoid population, again, I mentioned this earlier, but there's plenty of everything else, but Yilves and dragonoids are like the supreme minority here. Because we are not native to this continent. Our homeland is kind of cut off because of flux storms. Well, not my homeland because I'm half human, but you will very rarely see either or. You will see them, and there are ones that came here before the flux storms, but like, unless there's like a hole in a flux storm and they manage to sneak their way through, you're probably not going to see any new people coming on over. Is there any human natives? Yes. Actually over here. You see, Memoria is a human. Despite how she behaves, she is very human indeed. So Memoria is human. I'm also human. And Hawthorne is a nasty noid. Thought she was a bird person? No. She's not an Avali. That's just a Seraphine thing. Like, the wings are a Seraphine thing. You get them when you're in the cult. That's different from actually physically being a bird. Her wings are more decorative, too. I don't even think she can fly with them. You'd have to ask her. Mostly human. Yeah, no, they're not even connected to her body. Have you looked at her? She can turn them off and on. No. Like, come on, just because I can put on a headband with horns on it doesn't make me a cow. What the hell, man? Yeah, what the hell, man? What do you mean, what the hell, man? They're asking if you're a bird. They're asking if you're an Avali. You're not an Avali, unless, like, you've been hiding something from me. What are you? Are you a bird brain? You a bird brain, Memoria? Oh, wait, that's actually a really nice, mean nickname. Is there gonna be a manga or a book in the future? There is all sorts of plans, but I'm not at liberty to say what is and isn't guaranteed in the future. But Variance project is interesting because going into it there was all sorts of things discussed, and those were things that were discussed early on, and they're not off the table, but they are We're working on things right now. We're working on things. I can't talk about some stuff. Shut up. Will there be a multi-million-dollar live-action movie? No, we're getting a Netflix special! No, but yes, if you like story, there's more story to come later today. We're gonna be rating in 10 minutes. Meow, 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 meow. If you are attending Off-Kai, it is in your best interest to come to the booth. I will say this now. If you are at Off-Kai, visit the Variance Project booth. This is a requirement. You know why? Because it's interesting. And I want to say hi, because we got meet and greets. But also, I'm hand-making some items that I'm going to be randomly giving away to people that buy my merch. You're never going to know who it's going to be. But I've illustrated some pictures. I painted on a backpack, and I'm going to give that away. I'll probably take pictures of it day of. But yeah, if you're a toon and I catch you at the booth, I got free handmade stuff for you. Yeah. But also, like, there's big events happening. And, you know, it's our anniversary, so expect that there's anniversary stuff happening. I don't know what I can say without causing issues, but big things coming. Big things coming. Big things. Yeah. And they are lore related as well. Some things that you guys have been asking for a long time, since debut even, will be on the table very soon, openly. So it's going to be a very exciting week and a half coming. After Off-Kai, I plan to have a working computer again, but also to do a post-Off-Kai memoriam to kind of wrap up all of the big announcing things. Yes. I just hope that I can shoot myself before we raid, so that I can actually, you know, be a human again, because being a rat is very bad for my ego. My poor ego is wounded. I was so excited to be a doll today, so setting this up and not being a doll was a real pain in my hinder. Pain in my hinder. My hinder got hooned. My hoon hinder.
Been a hell of a year, boss. Glad to have been here.
Glad to have had you, Mr. Epstein. Is there anywhere Toons can get Sable merch online, boss? Yes, at the official Variance Project store. Hold on. In general, there's also going to be anniversary
also
merch.
So cute, so eatable.
Yeah. Anniversary merch. There's going to be keep an eye out for what we're raiding into. Hold on. Variance Project. Variancing their project. Hold on. There we go. If you go to our Hovercat, this is just our general merch, but new stuff should be theoretically coming. Yeah, no, currently, all of our debut merch is out of stock. The only in stock is the pre-order for the Evolution membership kit, which you should get. Keep an eye out on our socials. Let's have another great year. Yeah! Every year's a great year when we've got rats here. Yes. I personally am very excited. Oh, I almost forgot about the most important lore character of all. the new introduction to the casino, Camille, the bartender. You see, we already had a bartender, but now Camille is another bartender. She is an ex-toon who paid off her debt and now is choosing to work here on purpose. You may get to see some of her on gaming streams moving forward. Yes. So, hopefully you guys are looking good, looking ready to raid. Looking ready to raid Hawthorne. What was that? Anyway, we're looking ready to raid Hawthorne. Let me just make sure that the waiting room is still good to go. Why do I keep hearing noises over there? Okay, let me just see. Hawthorne. Hawthorne. Oh yeah, we're good to go in 3 minutes. We're gonna raid. We're gonna raid. Okay, we're gonna raid. Alright, alright. Buckle on in. Very likely I'm going to have to get creative for the Girls' Night collab at the end. Okay. Just make sure that I didn't fuck up the raid. Alright. Excellent! So we're gonna be hitting Ava first. Can we get an Ava La Evolution in chat? And when you raid in, Ava La Evolution her. Rat attack! Alright. Now.